The theme of today's program is a journey. You yourself made a great journey from the east to the west, from Iran to Canada, where you settled, and you studied Western classical music and composition. But in your artistic life, you always looked back to the Middle East and to your roots. What is so fascinating on communicating one culture to another?
Well, the idea of a journey, as you said, I think I grew up with this concept. I moved to Montreal, to Canada, when I was a teenager. I was 14 years old. And, from the beginning, I had to learn a new language, French, English in Canada. And I think this opened some windows in my mind and made me very interested to other people and other cultures. But at the same time, I had to preserve my roots. I felt that I need to preserve strong my roots, which is the Persian culture, Persian music in my case. And at the same time, at one point, making this culture and this music meeting with other cultures, it just creates a larger and better view of the music in my mind. So that's why I was interested to also learn Western classical music. I studied composition, and also in all of our projects with Constantinople, having this as a meeting place between different musical cultures, periods from Middle Ages to today, contemporary music even.
Thanks to this, we will hear several very, very exotic and interesting musical instruments that we don't hear very often in Prague, in the heart of Europe. So can you describe for us which instrument you yourself will be playing tonight?
Yes, I play this instrument called a setar. It's a Persian plucked instrument. It's quite a very ancient instrument. We have, in Eastern region, especially in Mesopotamia, we have sculptures with musicians playing such an instrument, exactly the same size and almost the same technique of playing. So we know it's a very, very ancient instrument, but an instrument has stayed alive in this musical culture. That's the interesting part. It wasn't like I didn't reconstruct an instrument based on an old painting, or it has always been a live instrument in this culture. So setar in Persian means 3 strings. Se is number 3 and tar is string. So the instrument had always 3 strings, and a bit more than 1 century ago, a player added a 4th string to double the 3rd one. So it has now 4 strings. We still call it setar, and it has around 28 frets, but they are movable, so I can adjust them to the microtones that we use. Also, you will hear those microtones that we use in our music, intervals smaller than semitones.
Can we say that it's something similar to a lute?
Well, the European lute comes from the Eastern oud, which is the kind of a brother of this instrument. This instrument is a long neck instrument, lute, and the lute is a short neck lute. From the medieval and Renaissance period, and then in Baroque they made the archilute and the fiorbo with a much longer neck.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is one, and we have a second one, which is called kanun. And can we say that it's some kind of a setar coming from Arabia or Arabic world?
From the same family. Actually, this one is a Turkish instrument, Turkish kanun. It's a very common instrument in East Mediterranean musical cultures. Again, from even antiquity in Greece, they described such an instrument. And the name kanon comes from the Greek word kanon, which means law. So the length of each string was giving the pitch. And the mathematical division, a scientific division of a string, when you divide it in 2, makes the octave. So, and etc. This suite of strings and length of the strings was giving different notes of the mode. So that's why this instrument is called kanun. And it has a very, actually, quite complex way of tuning. Each string is tripled. And each string with this system that there are here for each of the strings, she can, the player can move the note half tone lower or half tone higher. And also with microtones, you see for each note there are even 9 to 12 what we call mandala. So she can go also search for all those microtones.
And you very often also sing with your instrument, so
Yeah.
you can sing in the microtones, you can use them?
Yeah, the microtone is part of the modal system that we are using in our culture. And yeah, I sing mainly in Persian in tonight's program, and also with the singer we will sing also in Turkish and Ottoman language.
Krištof Harant z Polžic a Bezdružic, this Czech nobleman,
Yes.
he made also a great journey across all Europe to the Middle East. He came to Jerusalem.
Yes.
So the theme of the journey is also very strong here. Did you know about him before Wojciech addressed you to cooperate with him?
No, but immediately when I received his first message, I first looked who was this Krištof Harant, and immediately I saw that, well, he was not only a nobleman but a curious man, and this curiosity is for me the best quality of a human being, and making such a journey in that time makes of this personage a very important figure. And from the very beginning it was very inspiring, because again, especially a musician, a composer who is traveling for me, because it's very important. We have, you know, lots of travelers from 13th century, 12th century till today, but most of them were travelers or philosophers. But a musician, composer who traveled was so curious to hear different sounds, different music, and to really get into the culture of each place. And for me this was very inspiring.
Very often when you play your music, you're using ethnic singers more than the classical ones, but today we will hear the combination of your instruments, your singing, and classical trained voices. So how do you see this combination?
Again, it's a beautiful meeting. I think we are very complementary to each other. We don't want to hide each other, but we want to make a kind of new fresque or tableau together. And the fact that also lots of Harant's music were just fragments, to recreate the music, I think it's kind of a process that makes this project even more interesting, because we are not just juxtaposing different ideas, but it's like creating a new tableau, painting a new tableau, which you can just look from the far and see one tableau, where in this tableau there are different colors, different textures, from our music, from their music, the music of Capella Mariana, and Krištof Harant's music. There are all those influences and elements, but our goal was to build just one set of music, and I hope we achieve this.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.